Senator Cory Booker is live with me now from Capitol Hill. Senator, thanks so much for taking the time to speak with me. I fully hear you about no fly, no buy, and if you're on a no-fly list, no buy. There's a difference, though, between these, and this is what the Republicans on the other side of your debate are saying. In one circumstance, it's not a constitutional right to get on a plane, but in the other circumstance, it is a constitutional right to get a gun, and that it's not quite that simple. Do you at least sympathize with that side of the debate?
Well, please understand with the Constitution, I take every amendment seriously. The First Amendment, the right to free speech, I've got that right. But it's not an absolute right. I can't run into a crowded movie theater and yell fire. I can't slander other people. There are reasonable limitations. And even in the Heller decision, which defined the Second Amendment as an individual right, even the author, the conservative jurist who said that this doesn't mean anybody could buy a weapon under any circumstances. There are reasonable constraints. And so if you go to an American right now and say, is it reasonable that if somebody's under FBI investigation, if they have been put on a list where they are considered too dangerous to fly, under that narrow circumstance, is it a reasonable restriction on the Second Amendment rights to say, hey, you know what, at least while you're under this investigation and you're not allowed to fly on a plane, isn't it a reasonable thing to say you should not be able to buy a trunk load full of assault rifles?
I hear you, and I think that's where reasonable minds can differ, in that if a single mother who lives in a rural area and wants a gun to protect herself is mistakenly put on that watch list and thus can not buy that gun, this is where the Republicans want that extra layer. This is where John Cornyn's legislation would suggest you can't just blanket everybody who might be mistakenly on the list. We can actually have 72 hours to have a court order for probable cause and a hearing as to whether that woman actually is a legitimate good guy and should be able to protect herself. So that extra layer, is that problematic to you?
Well, it's not problematic, and in fact, the Feinstein bill understands that mistakes are made and there should be a reasonable process to grieve this and get back on. And by the way, the example you're giving of a single mother seeking to defend herself, please understand there are background checks done every day in America, and the overwhelming majority, well into the 90th percentile, people get that background check cleared between 1 and 10 minutes. There are narrow cases where pings are happening.
Not if she's put on a terror watch list by mistake, though, and I want to be really clear about that.
And I'm being clear with you that is a small group of people, and the Feinstein legislation has due process elements baked into it so that person can grieve that and do it. Now, the Cornyn bill, which is the last version that I saw, creates a really impossible hurdle for the FBI. If they've got somebody under investigation, they're going to have 3 days to mount a court challenge to block them, exposing their investigation and creating an environment where that terrorist, now being notified, is going to decide, you know what, I'm not going to go to that brick-and-mortar gun show, brick-and-mortar federal licensed gun dealer. I'm just going to go on the internet now and buy weapons. So that's where it falls down, is that this is not really a block for making sure that a hypothetical single mother gets it. This is actually a block to make sure that no legislation passes.
Here's where I am now at a loss. I can't see, and I'm not in the back rooms with you all, and I know you work very hard at this stuff, but I can't see the common ground between these two intransigent positions. Is there something I don't know about? Are you having conversations that look actually fruitful? We might actually get some movement here between the two parties, common ground?
Well, that's what we've been working on, and that's what Dianne Feinstein during our entire filibuster was talking about. And when you say you can't find common ground, please understand that over 70% of NRA members believe that if someone's on a terrorist watch list, they should not automatically be able to get a gun, that we should be able to, as a country, when literally Al-Qaeda and other terrorist organizations are inciting exciting and radicalizing individuals and telling them exploit this loophole, most Americans are saying, well, wait a minute, this is such a small number of people, this is a reasonable time to stop that person and create a process. Not something that's going to inhibit the FBI investigation, but create a process. So when you say you can't find common ground, please understand the majority of Republicans, majority of gun owners, and the majority of NRA members agree with the Democrats on this, and now I'm hearing even their standard bearer who's running for president. So we can't allow something this to gum this up and stop it totally. This is a narrowly tailored way of stopping terrorists. And if they make a mistake, in a very narrow set of instances where they may make a mistake, there is a due process way to regain your right to obtain a weapon.
I want to play one quick moment from you on the floor last night. I know you stood for the 16 hours or the 15 hours that your colleagues did as well. This moment, it's just a few seconds, but it really stood out. Have a look.
enough, enough, enough. What we're seeking is common sense.
So the enough, enough, enough is what a lot of Americans are saying as well. In fact, nobody's watching their television sets this week and not saying enough already. Here's what I don't understand. If the majority of Americans are saying enough, 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 and they send their representatives to Capitol Hill to make that happen, why is there such intransigence in making that happen?
Well, I think this is going to be a test. We forced a test now, and American people have to let their voice be heard. There will be two pieces of very modest legislation. One is closing that terror gap with a due process for those small amounts of people that might get caught up, and making sure that terrorists can't use that back door of gun shows or online as well. Two pieces of legislation, very narrow, that have overwhelming support. We have to put pressure on Congress now to say, if you vote against this, if you vote against my safety and my security, God forbid one of these instances happen at my church, at my a mosque, and one of these instances happens at my playground, at my kid's school, at my mall, you have to understand there will be consequences for people that stand against doing something to protect ourselves against people who've declared war on us and have proven from San Bernardino to Orlando that they're going to find ways to attack us. It's like giving arms to your enemy. We would have never done that in World War II. We would have never done that in Vietnam. We would have never done that in time. So this is a common sense thing that if you want change, don't be silent. Call your congressman, call your senator, tell them to support this legislation.
All right. Well, gear up your office, Senator. Thank you very much. I appreciate you being on with us, and I wish you and your Republican colleagues a lot of luck in wading through this. It's not going to be easy. I appreciate it. Thanks so much. Democrats and Republicans having to work together on this. Cory Booker, one of the leading Democrats on the floor last night. Up next.